Howdy folks, I'm a very large jelly bean.
I'm Amber.
And here's some Reddit. Our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for refusing to sign anything while my eyes are blindfolded? Alright folks, do we need to read this one? Because I'm pretty sure the answer is no, OP, don't sign anything while your eyes are blindfolded. Don't do it, OP. Please do not do this. Ever since I got out of the hospital for chronic problems, my husband has been introducing me to some games every evening. One game used to be about doing things while my eyes were blindfolded, involving puzzles, Rubik's Cubes, shaped objects, etc. We take turns for doing it just for entertainment's sake. Just a couple of days ago, he's been trying to get me to sign papers while wearing a blindfold. I refuse to do it because he never lets me take a look at what I'm signing, and neither before nor after. He says that he's just trying to see if I could have the same signature every time I sign, but I didn't feel comfortable with this. I wonder why, OP. I told him that I don't want to play this game unless he shows me the papers first, but he said never mind then and stopped bringing it up. Well, last night he tried to convince me to give it a try again and even volunteered to go first. I asked if he was going to show me what I was going to sign, and he made a face and said no. It's the rules and that I should respect them. I refused and kept on about how I kept acting worried and suspicious for no reason. He said I clearly don't trust him.
You shouldn't trust him.
Any person who's like, you need to sign this paper, but don't look at what I'm having you sign, is not to be trusted. And he was hurt by finding out now that after everything we've been through. We had an argument and I told him to drop it and not to bring it up again, period. He's mad despite saying it was no big deal. He was obviously upset with me and kept talking about how I don't trust him and that I was out of line to assume or suspect anything from him like this. I might be paranoid, but I couldn't help it. I do think that I was the jerk to him after he stood by my side when my own family didn't even visit. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. Don't sign blindfolded.
OP, get a lawyer.
This is not good.
Get a lawyer ASAP. Oh my goodness, get a lawyer ASAP. And I don't know, there has to be like some kind of legal like limbo that you can put yourself into where you can be like, all of my lawyers are handling all of my like signatures and stuff like that. So no, you have to go through them if you want me to sign anything.
Well, if it was a game, one, it'd show her, but two, she could write anything. It wouldn't have to be your signature.
There is no way I would sign anything with my eyes being blindfolded. You just are setting yourself up for kind of disaster. I don't even know if he could legally hold you to that. I think this is kind of on the same level as someone who was like, would take your signature and photocopy it onto something. If he forged your signature, he could just claim that, oh, you signed it and that this is a dispute. You know, he witnessed you sign it. And I'm pretty sure you need to be cognitively aware of what you're signing before you can sign it. I think that his plan, as skeevy as it is full of holes, but you need legal counsel ASAP. Not the jerk, not the jerk, not the jerk. This is extremely suspicious. Obviously, he wants you to sign something important. Financial documents, loan, will, property, divorce papers, the list could be endless. Do not sign anything blindfolded. I would add, do not sign on a blank paper from now on. And OP replies, is what I suspected, but I couldn't tell him because he might think I didn't trust him. There's reasons not to trust people. Right. This is one of them. He already does, but I didn't want to make it obvious. It's not his fault because I really easily distrust anyone due to past traumas. It all just depends on the situation I'm in. No, this is not a normal levels of like, this isn't you being paranoid. This is you being sensible and reasonable. Please do not sign papers blindfolded. Do not sign anything that you haven't read. This is not Brian's legal advice. This is Brian's common sense advice. All right. Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for turning off my work phone on vacation? No, this is another obvious one that we don't actually need to read, but we're gonna read it just for you folks. I don't even believe I have to ask this, but I'm a bit worried about how things are going to go on Tuesday. I recently moved to another team with the company that I've worked for at least 2 years. Before I got promoted, I had this last week booked off to visit my sister and first niece, which was a big deal for me. I'm also in Canada, and this Monday is already a holiday and it's a family day. The new team was informed as well, but I could tell that my new supervisor was annoyed by it. He even asked if I could reschedule, but I said I could not. I already had to wait a month to meet my niece because my sister was very cautious with visitors and wanted to go help her and her husband bond. My last day off was Monday, and I'm supposed to be back on Tuesday. Monday, when I got to the airport, I turned my work phone off. This week with my sister and little niece has been incredible, but extremely busy. I barely had any chance or interest in checking my own phone because of all the catching up and baby time and just relaxing. I had noticed a call from a number I didn't recognize on Wednesday, but I did not think much of it. Well, today we were having a lazy day and I decided to flip my work phone on to see if I had any emails to start preparing for next week. I had 20 voicemails and hundreds of messages and emails, with over half of them being from my manager demanding why I hadn't zoomed in for meetings and why I wasn't reachable. Because you're on vacation. What about your time off does this man not understand? Go to HR. I checked my phone voicemail, and the unknown number was him saying I hoped there was a good reason for why I was off the grid, if I wanted to keep my job. He even started out with the voicemail saying, I'm so sorry if you're in the hospital, and that's the only reason I should be needing to hunt you down like this. In Slack, I had a few DMs from coworkers I feel that I got along with, saying that I needed a reply ASAP because my absence was impacting them with how mad our boss was. This was my first time not being in an entry-level position, so I'm freaking out. Is this the standard that vacations are still worked on? Did I mess up by turning my phone off? Tomorrow is a holiday for the whole office, so I might not be able to fix things until Tuesday. Am I going to get fired? When I was in the other department, days off meant days off, so I'm just scared that I'm missing something, and a huge jerk to my boss and team. Second edit, oh wow, hi everyone, I didn't expect so many comments, but thank you so much, and thank you for the advice. I'm going to keep my phone off tomorrow so I can spend my last day with my family without being too anxious, but I read through all of these comments. When I'm traveling home, I promise to update you on Tuesday or Wednesday, so I guess we're going to see a update on Tuesday or Wednesday with this one. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk.
OP, your time off is your time off. I think that you need to approach HR and file an HR complaint immediately. You switched from one position to a new position, and it sounds like that during that transition period, he's expecting you to work or something to that effect. This is unreasonable. You booked this time off unless you were literally told that you need to be on call during your time off. You are entitled to have your time off, plain and simple. There are some jobs where you are told that you do have to check your emails and stuff like that when you have your time off. Those I think are niche. I think there are certain situations where, yeah, if you're on call, then you need to be available. But it does not sound like the expectation of being on call was ever presented to you. And I think that that's not part of what your contract is. Otherwise, I think you would have probably said that here. So yeah, I don't think you're your jerk. I think you need to go to HR. Not the jerk. Keep the messages and go to HR. You are on approved vacation. He has no right to your time when you're off the clock. Yep, those messages are basically harassment. They are. If HR doesn't help, you might want to find a different job. I would also be forwarding the messages and voicemails to my personal phone if I was in this situation. I guess what they're saying here is so that they can have a paper trail. Yeah, I mean, it might be a good idea to make copies of this stuff. All right, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Accepting a Week's Paid Vacation and Leaving My Fiancé at Home? I'm a 35-year-old male and I was invited on a last-minute snowboarding vacation with my brothers. I don't snowboard and it seemed like a lot of money to spend on a trip I wouldn't be doing much on, so I declined. The next day I went to my mom and she told me that my brother has paid for my vacation and that we leave in a few hours. You don't get a choice, OP, apparently. I called my fiance, a 34-year-old female, and asked if she minded me going for the weekend, and she seemed okay about it and said it was okay. It turns out the trip was actually for a full week, a little bit of a detail that you should have probably been aware of. And my brothers were both bringing their partners and my mom was coming too. These people are inconsiderate at this point in time. Like,
Or manipulative.
or manipulative. They needed to let you know that this was going to be, one, a full week long, and two, they needed to pay for and invite your fiance if they're going to have their partners too. That was just crudely unfair. My lady was really upset when she found out how long the trip was, and it means that she has to cover for me at work. We both do the same job from home. And that she wasn't invited. I would be upset too. She made a big deal about it, and I'm just going to hang with my family, so I don't see what her issue is. Her issue, OP, is that she was not considered at all in any of this at any point in time. You were ever like, oh, actually, I have to cut out early because, like, my fiance.
Or I have a job to do. I'm not gonna,
Well, yeah, I mean, that's part of the whole
Yeah.
consideration of fiance.
Yeah.
She says she's hurt because the trip was for a full week. It leaves her alone at home with more work to do, and she was the only person not invited. But I know she wouldn't have wanted to come anyway. So Reddit, am I the jerk? It doesn't matter if she didn't want to come. She wasn't even given the opportunity to not want to come, OP. So your family is acting like huge jerks in this situation. They need to make this up to her. You need to make this up to her. It feels like she was purposely excluded here. So yeah, you're the jerk. You should have cleared up all the details of this situation before going on a trip. You're the jerk. You agreed with her that it was a full weekend, yet it was actually for a full week. In addition, the others were going with their partners and she wasn't going along with you. You say you were going up to just hang out with your family, but your brother's partners were also coming along. It doesn't matter if she didn't want to go or not. How would you have known without asking her to begin with? Exactly. Right, she might not have wanted to go snowboarding, but could have hung out with everyone too. She's part of the family just like the other spouses. And you said a weekend and left her hanging. You're 100% the jerk. Alright folks, it's tea time. As you can see, I did Wordle in 5 on Sunday, or on Monday rather. Today is Monday for me.
I got in 3.
Amber got Wordle in 3 today. We also have teas. Amber, what type of tea do you have?
Mint.
And I'm drinking the same tea I was yesterday, so try to guess what kind of tea I'm drinking. What do you give a rhinoceros with big feet? Large shoes. That was very, very silly. Alright, and today I actually have matcha again. Alright, our last letter is titled, Am I a jerk for leaving and ruining the bachelor party my best friend organized? I'm going to start by saying that I didn't even want one in the first place. The idea of celebrating the last days of freedom just never sat well with me. My friends really wanted one, especially Jess, my best friend slash best man. And my fiance didn't have an issue with it. I'm not a drinker, nor do I like going to clubs, so we agreed to renting a cabin for the weekend. 3 from the group started drinking, but I wasn't. A few hours later, mostly everyone had a good buzz. We were playing poker when they surprised me by hiring an adult entertainer to come over. What ticked me off is that Jess knows that I hate this kind of stuff. A total stranger getting in my personal space. They were all encouraging me to go with it. After asking them to stop and just send her home, Jess kept saying, it's fine, everyone is trying to have a good time. Except for you weren't having a good time in your own party. From there, I just had it with this whole thing, so I told them that I'm going home and then they can enjoy themselves, but this wasn't how I wanted to spend my weekend. The reason why I'm asking if I'm the jerk is because Jess is really upset about this because he put effort into organizing this on top of putting his own money to hire the adult entertainer, only for me to walk off. I've been hearing about it all day today and leaving them last night and basically ruined my own bachelor party. It's my party. I can cry if I want to cry or leave, drive if I want to drive. I don't see it that way, but maybe it's because I'm still too mad at their surprise knowing it's not something that I'm into. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk.
I would have a hard time faulting OP in this situation. They threw you a party that wasn't a party for you. It was a party for Jess. And Jess is upset because you just didn't go along with his idea of what you should have been entertained by. And it's fine not to want a bachelor party. It's fine not to want to have adult entertainers there for your bachelor party. And it's fine not to want to drink. I think that there is a lot here. Your friend Jess had a very different vision of what the bachelor party should have involved than what you did. And he should have run everything by you ahead of time. This was not the party for you. Plain and simple. Anyhow, take care and good luck. No, not the jerk, not even close. I'm struggling to understand how you could ruin a party because you didn't want a naked woman who isn't your fiance rubbing herself all over you. Jess needs to remind himself that this wasn't his bachelor party, and you can leave your own party whenever you want. Exactly. This is what I've been struggling with too, but apparently I am for leaving the trip early. Not comfortable with an adult worker, so it's not like I was just going to sit with my car and while they do whatever they want until she left. Yeah. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. And if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.